So on number 8, guys, so what I would do when I'm looking at something like this, I'm going to draw in my dashed average, right? So if my low is 1 and my high is 5, what is the average, or K? 3. So K equals 1 plus 5 divided by 2, which is 3, right? K is just the average of the high and the low. And both of these equations are going to have that plus 3 on the end, right? That's not going to change no matter which equation we write. So what's A? A is what?
2.
A is 2. And you can do it either way. You can just look to see, well, here's the average, so I'm 2 above it or I'm 2 below it. That's A. You could also, if you wanted to, subtract the high and the low. So we could do 5 minus 1 and divide by 2, which also gives us that 2. So either way. And then the thing that's the same on both is also B, right? And B is 2 pi divided by the period. What is the period here? Remember, period is from crest to crest. So if I start here to here.
4. 7.5.
Not 7.5. 2, 4, 6, 8 spaces apart, but each space is a half, so it's over 4, which would be
2 pi over 2.
Pi over 2, right?
Yes.
All right, so we got something sine pi over 2, and then we have some shifting.
Yep.
And this would be cosine pi over 2, and then some shifting. Okay, now if you do this and then you look at the answers on the back, like those are not the points that I chose. You can choose any point. So sine, just remember that sine has to start on the average, right? On this dashed line. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different points you could choose from to start your sine graph. So your sine or your equation might not be what they have here at the back. So they chose right 1.5 spaces. So they started here. I started here. It doesn't matter. So where do we want to start?
Where you want it to start.
I like to always start at the point closest to the y-axis. So this point is closer than this point. But again, it doesn't matter. So I went left 1/2. So in my parentheses, I put plus 1/2. And then A is 2, but is it a positive or negative?
Positive. Negative. It's
Starts
negative.
below, so
What?
it's negative.
No, it's starting on the line.
It's
Oh, it's
positive.
No, it's negative.
Remember, sine, it matters what direction you go.
Negative.
So if we're going down, then the A is negative for sine. Cosine, it's positive or negative depending on if it's above or below the average. Okay, so now if we started cosine. Now cosine starts at a crest or a trough. So again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 places we could start for cosine. It does not matter which one you start at. I do the same. I start closest to the y-axis. So I would start at this point here. So we went right 1/2. So minus 1/2 in the parentheses. Is A positive or negative? It's negative because it starts below. So cosine, it's where it starts. If it's above the average, it's positive. If it's below the average, it's negative. Sine, it matters what direction you go when you leave that point. Positive if you're moving up, negative if you're moving down.
So we have 5 questions so far.
Yep.
So, Ms. Miller, what if someone used 2.5 as a shift on cosine? Or if someone
As-
used like 5.5, the negative 5.5 is the shift. So
It's
you would
fine.
have to like,
Yeah, it just takes me a little bit to grade it, but you
Yeah.
can start anywhere.
right.
Wait, Mr.